Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and today we're going to install the Riotoro Onyx 650W Semi Modular power supply into my Corsair 750D so we can get rid of this horrible ketchup and mustard cabling. Keep watching to find out more. So that's the intro out of the way. Now, what we're going to be doing today, at the moment in this, this is my video editing machine. At the moment there's a OCZ 750 watt power supply, which was a pretty good power supply in its day, but unfortunately all the cables are captive, so there's a little bit of a rat's nest of cabling going on in the basement and also in the back of the chassis. So times are changing. The Riotoro has come along at a fantastic price, which I'll put a link in the description below so you can check it out. It's had very positive reviews from Johnny Guru, who I personally respect for his reviews and honesty and the depth of his reviews. So they're a relatively new brand on the market, so it's a nice looking power supply. It's got great cables, so I thought I'd give it a go. So without further ado, let's get this installed. Okay, so that's the old power supply out, and as you can see by this entire rat's nest of cables, there was a lot to deal with, an awful lot to deal with. And this thing, although it's served me well over the time, it's got to go. So you can see how clean it looks now. That's how clean it should look. And hopefully when I do it before and after, you'll be able to see the difference, even on the back side, of how much neater you can get the wires using a semi-modular power supply. Now, talking of which, I'll quickly show you what you get in the box. You get some cable ties to tidy everything up. You get a owner's manual. You get a selection of modular cables in this really nice kind of licorice style flat cables, so you can mount them anywhere. That's really nice. And the star of the show is this bad boy. So this is the Riotoro Onyx 650 watt. He says drop-in stuff. So hopefully this is going to make things look a lot nicer in there. And because again all these cables are nice and kind of blacked out, then they should hide quite nicely into the background of the build. So I'm going to put this in and then we'll come back and see how it looks and do a before and after. Okay, so that was a relatively painless task, apart from the usual cable management that all of us have to do at some point or other, but it was made a lot easier by these nice flat cables. Now, as you can see now, the difference between how it looks now and how it looked before, the rat's nest that was down here is now gone. It's a lot more clean there. The only downside is the motherboard and the USB header, which is kind of spoiling it a little bit, but other than that, the actual power side of things looks fantastic down there, and those flat cables really do look the part. Now, going up to the graphics card, you can see the licorice banding. I've kind of put it around the outside edge to keep it all in one straight line, to keep it in line with the card. The idea with cable management is if you try and keep the cables in straight lines, they kind of blend in with the rest of the system. You want to try and avoid any horizontals if you possibly can. In some cases you can't, but that is a good idea to try and do. So if you're looking up through, you've got the 24-pin power connector, which again has kind of disappeared into the background. The ketchup and mustard is long gone, which we're really happy about. And at the top, the 8-pin EPS connector is now kind of completely stealthed out. Now I've moved the SSD, which was attached to one of these back plates, and you could see the silver of it, and I wasn't really keen on that anyway. So I've actually moved that up into this top area where the CD drives normally would be. So in this area now is the hard disk drive and the SATA drive. So all the cables are routed up there, keeping it nice and sharp and looking clean. And from that angle there, and from most angles with the side on, you'd never even know those drives were there. Again, because of the black cabling on this power supply, everything's pretty much stealthed. And talking of stealth, with the Riotoro power supply, now if the red stickers in your system are on show and you don't really like the look of red, taken away from your kind of theme you've got going on, now these stickers are actually stickers, they're not printed onto the metal, so they will peel off. So if you want to go for a completely stealth look, you can remove those stickers quite happily. I haven't done it for this purpose because I'm trying to promote Riotoro, because I think they're doing some really good stuff, so I'm leaving their stickers firmly on at the moment. They may come off at a later date, but for now they're staying. So let's spin this around and have a look from the back. So there we go, with the back panel off. So I've tidied up the RGB bit of it there, so obviously don't pay any attention to that in the before and after shots, because I have tweaked that a little bit. But as you can see, the nice licorice bootlace cables have been tucked in quite nicely in here, and there was enough room or enough cabling to reach to the top of this chassis, and it is quite a big chassis, to go to the 8-pin EPS connector on the top. So that connects up all very nicely. Now, the only thing I would have liked to have seen, really, if I'm being hypercritical of this power supply, is the 24-pin connector. The braiding on the wires, it is a little bit chunky. So if you've got a case which is a little bit narrow on the back for cable management, you may find that a little bit of a struggle, because it won't actually go flat, and because it's quite good cabling, I think it's 18 gauge cabling, it's very difficult to actually flatten a bit. So that is the only criticism I would have of this cabling setup as it stands. But as you can see, it is looking a heck of a lot tidier, and it looks a lot cleaner. So if you're going to be selling a PC or building a PC for someone, and you're kind of presenting them with it, or whatever the case may be, if you've got maybe a tempered glass back panel on your chassis and you want it to look nice, then this power supply is definitely going to help you achieve that goal. So what I haven't mentioned on this at the moment, I don't think, is price. The Riotoro power supply, this is the 650 watt modular, or semi modular rather, and this is currently retailing in the UK for £49.94, oddly. Bit of a strange price, but I'm not going to complain about the extra 6p not taking it up to £50. But its direct comparison in the market is with kind of like the Corsair CX650W, sorry, 650M I believe it is. One of those. It's one of the Corsair power supplies. It's about £10 to £15 dearer on average through various retailers, but that is its direct comparison. Like I said previously in the intro, this power supply reviews very favourably on Johnny Guru's site, which again I'll put a link to for that, so you can check it out. The only criticism they did have of it is the ripple control was slightly less than the Corsair equivalent. So being that the Corsair is considerably dearer, then that may be a factor. But overall, it's a great looking power supply. It looks good, it's got the right amount of cabling. You've got an additional connection for another 8-pin PCI Express dual plug, which doesn't come in the packaging, but I dare say if you contacted Riotoro, they could sort something out for you. But anyway, this has been a little mini review and quick installation of the Riotoro Onyx 650 watt power supply. I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and we'll catch you again in the very next video. Thanks for watching.